Hey, good afternoon, end time saints. Chosen. Oh boy, I gotta be quiet. I've got them all in the house, completely surrounding the house. Okay, I don't want to talk about personal information because Father told me to quit giving out personal information, but this is just too weird to not mention. And I'm also going to tell y'all a freaky dream that I had. Okay, so first I'm going to say the reason why I'm discussing this is it helps me air it. And also I'm in hopes that someone else out there, just one other person, is having some weird things like this that they're seeing in their life. This is just above and beyond weird, okay? It's not normal, which my whole life hasn't been normal, but it's honestly like I'm True Woman in the True Woman show, aka like the Truman Show, right? We're the stars of the show. But I want out of this nightmare. So, I've got a lot to talk about, but I'm just going to keep it to this one subject of what happened. Then I'll probably come back on if I can later. So, I went to sleep. I had a horrible time sleeping. The dream I dreamt was real short. This is all I remember of it. Wow, there's bells ringing right now for I don't know why. There's nothing going on today. 2 bells rang. Wow. Okay, now some other bells are ringing. This is very bizarre. Anyway, I had a terrible time sleeping. I woke up like 3 or 4 times, which I've been sleeping pretty good lately. And then I was jolted awake. It was exactly 5 in the morning. Exactly. Not 5:01, not 4:59, 5. And I was guided by the Most High to go to the window. The blinds are drawn. No, I don't just get up and start peeking out the window. I wanted to go back to sleep, but the Lord said, go look out the window. I look out the window. There's a man getting out of an unmarked van, okay? Right as I look out, he had pulled up. He turns his lights out, and then he gets out. And then he's dressed in black, and he walks around the back. And I'm like, oh, here they go again. I thought it's just a gang stalking posse. So I stopped looking, and then I went back and sat on the bed again, and then the Lord told me to go back and look. And I look again, and he's setting up cameras, 2 cameras on stands in the middle of the street, aiming them at my window. Then a spotlight goes on. Now I'm actually taking note of it. Before, I'm just like, I'm used to all the clown acts. If you're targeted, persecuted, you know what I'm talking about. These shows they make up for us that are all street theater. But this, I took note of. There's spotlights outside. Again, 5 in the morning. It's not light yet. And there's nothing open here, okay? And he's aiming them directly at my window. Up, like up towards, I'm past the 2nd floor. And then about 10 minutes go by. I stopped, looked like, I said, okay, here we go again. Now they're taking videos of what are they going to do? Tear up the rest of the street? Because they've come and dug holes in front of my street twice now. They put in 4 different lights, 3 different times. Just done a bunch of other stuff. And so I thought that's what it was. They're getting ready to dig more of the street up. So I walked away again, and then about another 10 more minutes went by, and the Lord told me to go back to the window. I go back to the window, and a man appears dressed in a suit with a microphone. He got 2 turntables and a microphone, and he started talking. I couldn't hear what he was saying, and which is odd because you can hear everything in here. So they didn't want me to hear, okay? Because when they want you to hear something, you can hear it. And so it was odd, he's on a microphone, but I can't hear what he's saying. And I can hear people talking outside the window because there's no insulation. They put me in places like that. But anyway, long story short, and then I look, and it's a news, or supposedly it's a news team. And he's got his microphone that said whatever the channel was. I'm not from here, so I don't know the news channels, nor do I watch TV. But apparently they were out there for, I don't know, 30 minutes or something. And, then it got light. Then they put up everything. I haven't heard of a news channel that goes around in unmarked vans. Have y'all? Because I haven't. It was an unmarked white van. Okay. One of those bigger ones, like you hear of them kidnapping people in. Anyway, that's what it was. So I took note of it. And then a bunch of other things happened, and I ended up just going to the gym. This is like 4.5 hours later, okay? And the van had left. And I go to the gym. While I'm in the gym, of course, there's gang stalkers everywhere, but there was one that was blatantly obvious, and this is I believe she is undercover, someone, could be FBI, I don't know. She was overweight, didn't look like she was even working out. She was barely moving, and I could see her out of the corner of my eye taking pictures of me. And I turned and I said, you can take pictures if you want, or just watch my my YouTube channel, which I'm sure you do. And then I said, you don't have to be a sellout agent. You can repent. You're not free. And I'm saying it, I'm not yelling it, but I'm saying it in her direction. She's got those white earpieces that they all wear, these high-ranking stalkers, these, they're agents, FBI, CIA, gumbo soup. She had those on. And so then I just ignored her after that, continued with my workout, and then at the end of my workout, right as I was finished, she held her arm all the way out and took the pictures. Like, she was blatantly obvious. And I turned and she looked down like she was scared and put the phone back down. And then I walked past her and I said something about, you need to repent and stop gang stalking, agent. Your only hope is turning to Jesus or something. She never flinched, never looked at me. If someone's talking to you, they're speaking right at you, right? Why wouldn't you turn? Because she was caught. Then as I'm walking out, I had 4 more surround me, and I just, they want to trigger me to say something to make me look insane, right? But there was 4 people, all swarmed me, blocking my path. All at once they come out. Y'all know what I'm talking about, and invade your space. And I said, he said, how are you doing today? I said, oh, I'm doing good. I said, I love having my picture taken while I'm working out. And I kind of laughed and continued to walk out, and they followed me. Instead of just letting me continue to walk out, and I vented and then walked out. No, they have to come after me. And then he goes, what? Someone was taking your picture? They know, okay? And I said, yeah, I think so. She was aiming it right at me, and there's nobody else over there. I'm the only one working out, unless she's taking pictures of the workout machines, but she was aiming it at my face, like in my field of vision. And he said, do you know this person? I said, no. And he said, no, can you point him out? I said, yeah. So I went over there, and there she is, and she still has her phone in her hand, but now looks like she's like typing something, right? Because they're all part of it. And then I said, right there, and I didn't point, I just nodded, and then he said, oh, okay. And then I said, I can't say for sure if she was taking pictures, but it sure looked like, because she kept aiming it my way. And I went behind and said something to her, and she wouldn't acknowledge me. And he said, okay, thanks. And then I walked out. Then I go down the street. I get about 2 blocks down the street, and there's a white van parked out. This isn't the same van. This is like a regular, like a passenger type van. The other one had no windows except the 2 in the, the front window, obviously, and the 2 on the side. And then it was all just blocked in, just a regular van with no windows in the back. This one had all windows, like a passenger van. And the Lord drew my attention to it. And as I walked past, it's parked only not even a block and a half from the gym, on the same street that I walked to go back to where I am staying. And the Lord called my attention to it. And there's tons of people that gang stalk me on a daily basis that sit in their cars and pretend to be on the phone. So I'm used to that, but I know the Holy Spirit. And he told me to go back. And I went back and I thought, that's not the same van. And I remembered the last couple numbers of the van of the actors that were, I guess, newscasters, casting spells, right? And it wasn't the plate. And I'm like, I knew it wasn't, because it didn't have all those windows. But then when I walked past it, I told y'all, I have a photographic memory. I bet y'all do too. Y'all, the 144, We have that gift. And if I see someone's face, anything like that, that's why they try to trigger us with colors, because we remember it. I recognize the face from across the street in the dark, and I've never seen the newscasters here, okay? And I recognized it was him. And I looked at him, and he had the window down, and he was looking at me, and I turned, and I caught him looking at me, and he looked down. And I walked back, and I said, "Excuse me, are you the newscaster?" And he goes, "Oh," and he looked nervous that I pegged him, and he said, "Oh, yeah, I was doing a story earlier on this neighborhood. This is now, I was in the gym over an hour plus the walk up and back. So you're looking at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Over 6 hours later, and he's still on my street? This is not normal, y'all." Then I get back, and there's a man downstairs. I got to be quiet in case he's still down there. There's a man downstairs in the doors that, they're like, everyone uses the doors, and he's pushing on the door like to watch, okay? I've never seen him before. And then I said, "Oh, how you doing?" like that. And he goes, "Oh," and of course, nervous because I caught him. And he goes, "Oh, just waiting on the mailman." And I said, "Oh, don't worry, they'll be here. They follow me too." And I walked up, sure enough, guess who shows up? The mailman. This is not normal. Does anybody else have this much weird stuff? So about a month ago, I guess they realized she's been here over a month. Time to really amp up the targeting and the harassment and dig up the streets and all that kind of stuff. I don't watch the news. I don't have a TV, but I had just talked about how the cops follow me. I had cops show up at a little bus stop in full, what do you call it? Where they have bulletproof vests with guns, okay? 2 grown men, big guys with guns on either side in bulletproof vests in a cop uniform with cloth mask, black masks over their face and sunglasses. I couldn't see them at all. Came up behind me. I had headphones on trying to drown out the never-ending noise. And when I turned, I jumped up. The Lord warned me, they're behind me, and I jumped up and he goes, "Oh, we're just checking to make sure you're okay." I'm like, "Yes, I'm waiting on a bus." Just bizarre. And then he goes, "Oh, we're just seeing if you're okay." And I said, "Wow, this must be a dangerous bus stop if you gotta be dressed like that." And he said, "You've never been here," or something. I can't remember exactly, but I said, I've never used this bus stop. "What bus stop do you normally use?" And I told him, okay? The next day, I, again, don't watch the TV or anything, but on my feed online, a notice came up for, you know how when you check the weather, it'll show, you'll have pop-ups for your area that'll show what's going on. It was a pop-up, and it was the news. And I recognized my building on the news. And I'm like, what in the world? And it was a call for more police officers in my area and featured my building. Yeah. So a couple of y'all were joking, saying, "Man, that's how powerful we are in God's army, that they have to call in reinforcement." Now I see cops every time I go in or out. They sit outside the door. They follow me down to the bus stop. It's harassment. They're trying to trigger and provoke. And if I say something wrong, lock her up, right? This has been my whole life, but this is ramped up 10 levels higher. Okay, so I just wanted to vent a little bit and then ask, is anybody else having this kind of weird things happen? And I'm curious to see if this actually is on the news. I'm having a lot of other bizarre things too, y'all. Also, the dream I had. So the dream I had, I only remember a tiny bit because I got jolted awake, was that there was a man, which he kind of looked similar to the newscaster, to be honest, and I'd never seen the guy before, okay? I only watched a 2-minute clip of the news, that one channel, and it wasn't the same guy. All right, but in the dream, it looked like this guy. And he's in a suit, funny enough, and this guy was in a suit. I actually think it was the same color suit, y'all. This is just bizarre. And he's walking, holding hands with a woman. I don't know if it was his wife, his girlfriend, or it could have been his older daughter, because this man was probably mid-50s maybe, and the girl was maybe 20s, okay? But she was pregnant, and they were holding hands, and he was in a suit and she was in a dress, and behind them came out giant green tails that looked like alien antenna things. And they were like trying to hide them, like they were morphing into aliens. And I remember thinking, I hope the baby's not going to be an alien that the woman was pregnant with. It was bizarre. When I woke up, I instantly thought about, what's his name? That was just in the news for shooting that lady. What's his name? Baldwin. Alec Baldwin. When he did some commercial, which again, don't watch TV, but it was popped up online one time about Hulu, and he said, because we're aliens, and he tucked the tentacle, that's what it is, tentacle, not an antenna, a tentacle. He tucked the tentacle back in his jacket. That's what I saw coming out the back of his suit and her dress, y'all. Something weird is up. And then I'm led to the newscaster, get it, casting spells, who's outside. Now I feel uncomfortable going back to the gym. I mean, it's only for a couple weeks anyway, but because you have to pay as you go or whatever. But I believe the whole thing was try to trigger me to say something to make me sound insane. She thinks people are taking pictures of her. But when the guy did see her over there, she was holding her camera up. But anything to try to provoke and make us look paranoid or insane. But the first time she was kind of do it sneakingly, and then when I saw her, I guess I don't know, y'all. I'm asking for y'all's input on this, and if y'all are seeing these weird things. It's like we're really living out a movie, and I went out of this movie. I went out of this matrix. But anyway, the Lord is in this. He's protecting us. He's warning us in advance. That's how I noticed the guy. Okay? He was shocked that I pegged him because he's not even in the same van. So y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Are we really the only humans left on this earth? People are just really acting weird and freaky and zombified. Okay. I'll come back on later, y'all. I love y'all. I'm out.